It's almost been 16 years since the Highlands in 2004 was enacted. In that legislation, the whole idea of compensation, the whole idea of economic viability was right within the preamble of the act itself. And unfortunately, I don't think anybody could really see, when you got, say, Sussex County, and it's obviously Warren County, we are calling this the Greater Highlands area, because it's not just the Highlands area that's been affected, but all the areas around. Like, for example, you got Lafayette right here, maybe just right outside the Highlands. But economic viability was supposed to be, critically important. And when you go from the counties that have had some of the highest population loss to the highest, or one of the highest, foreclosure rates in the state, it's hard to say that the economic viability has been maintained. So we've come up, and I want to thank the Congressman very much. He worked tirelessly for this, as he's doing for Lake Hopatcong and all our different lakes in the area. But the idea of economic development and having a reduced sales tax rate, and also one of the key things, and the Congressman will go into a little further, but also recognizing that 1% of that sales tax rate would go back to the counties for county-wide property tax.
We're all here today to discuss how we're going to give the Greater Highlands and Pinelands region a real boost of economic energy and job growth with lower sales and property taxes, helping to encourage even more people to enjoy the beauty that these hidden gems of New Jersey have to offer. That's what our Greater Highlands and Pinelands Economic Growth Plan is all about. I know this goes for the Pinelands too, but just being up here in the Greater Highlands region, you can see why it's the perfect place to live and raise a family with safe neighborhoods and top-notch schools. It's the ideal place to spend a day hiking the Appalachian Trail, or go skiing, or shop right here. And I just met the gentleman who runs this place and does an unbelievable job, and really bringing it's a great place to raise a family in such an idyllic community. The region also boasts around 110,000 acres of active farms. It's home to high-skilled manufacturing, cutting-edge photonics, and other STEM-related jobs, and even, of course, we make M&Ms here. We're also in the middle of the Greater Highlands forest lands, wetlands, pristine watersheds, and all the different plant wildlife habitats they contain. The region is also the vital source of drinking water for more than half of New Jersey's families, producing approximately 379 million gallons of water each and every day. You can see why we've gone out of our way to protect it and worked hard to advance conservation efforts, regional planning, and water resource protection, and I commend the Highlands Task Force for all of their work to that end. But some of these limitations have obviously come at an economic cost to our communities and residents, and Sussex and Warren counties have some of the highest foreclosure rates in the state. And if you look at some of the other economic indicators, we know that our communities, many of our communities, are facing headwinds. According to Moody's Analytics, home values in Sussex County are down 8.2%, and in Warren County, they're down 7.1%. Sussex and Warren counties both suffer from foreclosure rates more than triple the national average, and the job market is shrinking at a time when the rest of the state is seeing some growth. Here in the northwestern part of the state, in Sussex and Warren counties, there are recently 8 towns with property taxes actually higher than the state average, which is already more than $8,700. Taxes far too high, and we all agree they need to be cut. And we're bleeding people and jobs, Pennsylvania, New York, and other states. From 2004 to 2013, New Jersey only netted 3,880 new businesses. Florida gained more than 7 times that, or 29,000. Even Pennsylvania gained 4 times more than we did during that same period, with 16,000. CEO in Belvedere over in Warren County once told me their company declined to expand New Jersey because it's too expensive here. He literally knocked down a building, drew up plans to put a new facility with scores of new jobs, and then pulled the plug after he looked at the total cost of doing business and taxes that are too high. Other states, including our neighboring states, are literally targeting and recruiting our companies, and I've seen it and gotten calls far too often. I know both senators have. These larger businesses too are affected, and they affect mid-sized and smaller businesses up and down the chain. Furthermore, New Jersey's economic recovery from the Great Recession has been among the slowest in the nation, the 8th worst according to Politico analysis of net job growth since the recession beginning in January 2008. Hitting some of our regions especially hard since the recession, Jersey has lost a net 56,000 manufacturing jobs. And New Jersey is now #1 in out-migration, as we know, including far too many people from northern New Jersey. And much of that, if you look at study after study, talks about the high cost of living, including state and property taxes, which I believe are too high. When the state passed the Highlands Act back in 2003, there were supposed to be two halves, and we've all talked about this, right? There's supposed to be two halves. One focused on protecting our natural resources, which is essential, and one on addressing the resulting economic impact. But if you look at where we are, it's that other half of the equation that could really use our help, and it's why we're here today, the economic side of it. That's what brought us together, and it's issue these two senators, as well as others and our assemblymen, have been driving for years, because you can grow the environment and grow the economy, and that's what we believe. You can do both. We can boost the local economy and keep our air and our water clean. Given the explosion of ecotourism and the remarkable potential here and in the Pinelands, there's simply no reason why we can't create and attract more jobs and businesses to these regions, whether that's new retail, experiential, tourism, high-skilled manufacturing, STEM jobs, you name it. There's no reason why we can't take better advantage of the tens of thousands of people who drive through our communities as they head to New York or Pennsylvania, to the Poconos or the new Legoland coming. They should be stopping and spending time in Jersey to hike, fish, ski, shop, and visit our beautiful downtowns and the stores right around me here, boosting our local economies. And we should be attracting more of our fellow Garden State residents too. We got Crystal Springs Resort, Mountain Creek, Skyland Stadium, Space Farm, and so much more. We have hidden gems like the Appalachian Trail and the Delaware Water Gap, the 10th most visited park in the entire national park system. And by the way, there's no reason at the same time we can't make life more affordable for our residents by helping to get their property taxes down, something we all talk about a lot, right? We need a state strategy to help turn around foreclosure rates, create new jobs, and improve stunted growth. That's why today we are announcing our bipartisan plan to grow the Highlands and the Pinelands region here in New Jersey. Our Greater Highlands and Pineland Economic Growth Plan will create jobs and attract new businesses, promote opportunity, protect our environment, and lower taxes for residents and businesses. First, we're establishing a rural enterprise zone program to benefit the Greater Highlands and Pinelands region, similar to the urban enterprise zones designated by the state of New Jersey. The rural enterprise zone will benefit our local businesses and attract new ones and spur retail and tourism growth by reducing the general sales tax rate from 6.625 to 4.3125. That's our proposal. We also send a portion of that sales tax, and this is what Steve was talking about, a full 1 point directly to our counties within the region to help reduce property taxes straight away. This is a very big deal and will help address the high cost of living, which has contributed to foreclosure rates. Again, this is 1 point directly for a property tax reduction for our residents in the Greater Highland and Pinelands regions. Additional economic incentives will include tax-free purchases on items like capital equipment, facility expansions and upgrades, financial assistance from agencies such as the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, and energy sales tax exemptions for qualified manufacturing companies. We want to help every business from hotels to farms to manufacturers to stores. The plan will also offer tax credit options for up to $1,500 for new permanent full-time employees hired, and up to 8% business tax credits on qualified investments. These incentives have worked in other parts of the states and urban areas like Patterson and Elizabeth so well by lowering tax rates and boosting investments. We need to do the same in our challenged rural areas, including here in the Greater Highlands, which spans from western Passaic to the northernmost corners of Sussex and Warren counties. We have a fantastic opportunity before us to keep protecting the environment while also boosting local economic growth and keeping our families here. Second, we're asking the state to do more to invest and support businesses within these regions, including building an online portal to promote collaboration and innovation among businesses within the Greater Highlands and Pinelands. Third, we will charge the Greater Highlands and Pinelands councils to study ways to expand and improve economic growth, expand infrastructure development, and reduce property taxes within these regions. They should issue an annual report capturing the state of the local economy and their recommendations, including better ways to seize on new opportunities like ecotourism and STEM jobs. Together with the Highlands Act and with this three-point plan, we're prioritizing both our economy and our environment.
I was one of the original votes for the Highlands Act. I sat on the Environment Committee when we passed this bill. And there was a lot of promises made, a whole lot of promises made, because we held it up for quite some time. No one can argue that you need to protect the Highlands. We need to protect our water supply and protect the Pinelands. What happened in the Pinelands was we were promised, sworn up and down, that will not happen to the Highlands. The mistakes of the Highlands I mean, this mistake of the Pinelands would not happen in the Highlands. Well, guess what? It did. None of the promises that were made were kept. People lost value in their land. Land that was once valuable was just dirt at that point. We shut down economic development in a region of the state where it was promised. There was growth zones promised. There was a whole lot of promises, like I said. So that's why, honestly, I'm here to support what these guys are saying. And as the Senate President, I'm going to work to advance this. And hopefully we can push it in the Assembly, because these rural areas deserve, I'm frozen, I can't talk. These rural areas deserve economic opportunity just like our urban areas. People forget that we're part of New Jersey. The part of the state I'm from, you know, people joke about, well, New Jersey Transit, what is it? Because we don't see it. Well, we all have the same needs, and we just can't focus just on urban areas. We need to focus on all parts of the state of New Jersey to create opportunities. And Josh, this plan that you and Steve and Hal have come up with makes a lot of sense. So if we can do it in other places, why can't we do it here? That's the big question. So my point is, I'm here to support what's being proposed because I was one of the original votes on the Highlands Act. I remember the promises that were made, and I know that, yes, we've preserved the Highlands, but none of the economic promises that were made ever come to fruition, and Steve has been on me since he got here about this. So I'm glad we've come up with a plan. I'm more than willing to work towards enacting it, Josh. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.